Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Happiness Journey with Dr. Dan podcast, where every journey is worth living. My name is Dr. Dan, and I'm your host for today's episode. I'm a bilingual neurolinguistic programming and cognitive behavior psychotherapist specializing in anger management issues, both court appointed and private, marriage counseling using the EFT method, dissociative disorders, narcissistic personality disorders, depression, anxiety, dream analysis, and also provide life, business, and retirement coaching support. I provide individual one-on-one sessions in both French or English, and also do group settings. If you need any assistance, reach out to DMV Therapy and Coaching Services at 301-325-1550, and our website can be found at lifecoachdanamzalike.com. Today, I'm very excited to have for our third episode of season 20, a very special guest and certified life and success coach, Omiros Petri. And just like every of my past episodes, I will leave it up to the guests to properly introduce themselves, as no one can do a better job. Omiros, the floor is yours, my friend.
Dan, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be on your show. I like Dan's introduction about me. I am a life, mindset, and emotional intelligence coach. I specialize in life experiences as grief, illnesses, or traumatic situations, or the people feeling stuck in their lives and they need the guidance to get out of it.
Okay.
And I'm bilingual, English and Greek. So
Beautiful. Well, Omiros, thank you so much for being here today. And I'm sure that your extensive knowledge in the field of success and life coaching will definitely be a big benefit to the listeners. So let's just jump directly into the question and answer format in terms of people not understanding exactly what a success coach is. So if you could just explain to our listeners, do business people primarily come and seek your help to succeed in their professional life? Or is it also in a personal level?
it's both situations because if you're talking about people that have goals to actually have a success in their career or even setting goals down, for them it is a point of success, either to get a upgrade in their life when it comes to their career or personal issues.
Okay, so when it comes to the personal issues, you said that you're more of a mindset coach as well. So is it people that are stuck in the past, and especially if they have not succeeded in certain aspect of their life? How do you do in changing their mindset? Do you let them look at a different perspective of what's going on in their personal or professional life? How do you change their mindset if they've been stuck with the same one for the past 10 to 15 years? How easy or how long does it take for you to change your mindset?
Well, studies show that it takes about 60 days for the mind to implement a new pattern in
Yes.
their lives. So at the beginning, so if we take it practically, I implement small steps to begin, micro steps,
Mhm.
and in their each day pattern to change the mindset. And first of all, I make them feel more self-aware of their patterns and their situation so they can understand it, which is the most important thing first,
Okay.
that for them to be aware, not me. And then I slowly implement different strategies or different create positive or healthy habits in their lives to be able to see a different perspective, as you manage to say, because perspective is the key ingredient, is actually seeing in a different way.
Absolutely. And for them to be able to adapt, you said, yeah, it takes 60 days approximately to be able to implement a new habit or get rid of an old one. So is your mindset process, is it related to also the laws of attraction where people, whatever they think will become the things that they want? Or do you try to implement other strategies that will help them change that mindset? And regardless of the 60 days that it takes, what kind of small step do they have to take from today to be able to succeed in the next 60 days?
In regards to the law of attraction, I do believe in it, but in order for you to start implementing the law of attraction, it takes more internal healing to be able to see the results faster first. Oh, that's my belief and from my understanding. People that have been struggling and repeating patterns from their past or because of their environment either feel comfortable in their situation in the pattern that they're repeating because it's a it's a struggle or an issue that they know how to solve and they've been over it and over it again. So it's nothing getting out of their comfort zone. When it comes to implementing and changing the mindset, I mostly use daily affirmations
Okay.
to make them believe that they're worthy of making the next step and trying to change their environment to set positive habits as well so that we can keep the momentum going
Hmm.
so they feel more um, I'll use the word happier, let's say,
Okay.
and have a positive uh, perseverance and perspective in life as well,
Okay.
and see for their own selves that small changes leads to the bigger results that they succeed.
Yes, yes, that definitely. But the thing is that most people are just afraid to take that first step because I think they're more afraid of failure. So, in your strategies to change their mindset, do you help them also not fear failure?
Yes, because nowadays, especially in society, there's a push to perfectionism.
Yes.
And I do not believe in perfectionism at all.
Okay.
Even if you want to become an expert in your area, you have to make mistakes to learn.
True. That is
And my point is to my clients is to make them feel making a mistake is not the end of the world, is actually the beginning of their journey because when you see the flaws of the mistake and you improve it to get better.
that is true. And actually, you know what? I read somewhere that the acronym FAIL means first attempt in learning. That's the acronym. Quite interesting to see that even in a negative world, negative word that is fail, you extract the positive because every time that you fail on something, you learn on what to do better to avoid falling again on failing in the same aspect. So I think people, instead of focusing too much on the negative aspect of fail, they should focus more on what am I going to learn today?
That's true. I can't agree more. It's one of the things I tell people is start seeing their issues and the problems or obstacles as a learning experience
Mhm.
so their mindset can change from a negative to a positive.
That is true, yes. So if any of the listeners would like to know what brought you to become a mindset coach? I mean, obviously things must have happened to you personally, Omiros, to decide, okay, you know what? If I did it myself, if I found the solution to a happier life and to succeed in what I do best, something must have happened. What triggered you to become who you are?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I'm glad that you asked that question. Uh, I, as is me and as other people in their lives, they go through struggles and obstacles and issues. It's the decision that you have to make is either can I live like this for the rest of my life or do I want to make a difference?
Okay.
The when it came to me personally, and just to put a side note, what I'm going to explain now, I did these strategies or what changed my perspective and actually helped me to make my mindset a stronger characteristic in my personality.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean it suits everybody that's listening to us right now or in general every human being. You can take different points of it and actually implement it in your life that you feel comfortable in doing. It's not a strict rule. Back to your question is I went through a different my beginning was the passing of my father.
Okay.
That was hard on me because I'm the oldest and I had to take responsibilities.
Okay.
And I had to be a father, a brother, and a husband to to my mother. If you So my communication had to be different.
Hmm.
I had to be more empathetic. I have to be even more self-aware of my emotions at the same time, build my mindset
Okay.
that I had to stay strong. But one of the most personally that happened to me was when I got diagnosed with thyroid cancer.
Oh, okay.
I got it was a trip planned. I was going to surprise my mother for her birthday,
Okay.
for her 60th birthday, but at the end it was a unpleasant surprise for me that I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer.
So, okay, I know a lot about thyroid because I am hypothyroidism, okay, called Hashimoto, basically. So the thing is that when you deal with the thyroid cancer, did they find, I mean, was your thyroid not functioning well? It was over functioning with hyperthyroidism.
It was overfunction with hypothyroidism.
Okay, because you could be hypo and not have any potential of cancer. So what kind of diagnosis have they done beside blood tests? They did a biopsy, obviously, of the thyroid. And what did they found? Did they found like a special like a nodule that was inflamed in it?
Yeah, they found calcium deposits as well,
Okay.
and that triggered everything. And we did the fine needle aspiration therapy,
Hmm.
and then we did the biopsy, and the biopsy came out that I did have thyroid cancer.
What stage?
I was lucky to be at first stage,
Okay.
but it was on the borderline of leaving my thyroid and processing into the rest of my body.
Oh, so was it like over the 1.25 centimeters?
Yes.
Okay, I see. So then did you remove the thyroid completely, or was it just the nodules?
No, I removed the whole thyroid and about 39 nodules.
About what?
39, the bad nodules.
Oh, so but you said that you were able to catch it right before it starts spreading in other organs. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm very, very
outside my thyroid. So
I'll say
in the sense, I was lucky. I was blessed.
you were very, very blessed. But what really triggered you to be able to go see the doctor or the endocrinologist to determine exactly if there was something off about your thyroid? Did you feel very tired? Did you feel out of your element, lethargic? What really triggered you to go see one?
The way my schedule was at that time, because I was a very busy and hyperactive person,
Okay.
I was tired, so I didn't pay that much attention to it. But when I did my regular checkup, my thyroid, my THC, yeah, THC
Yeah, the thyroid
was
secreted hormone, TSH.
yeah, THC was over the charts. So, and I wanted to start eating healthy. And the funny part is my dietitian noticed it and said he recommended me to go to a specialist.
Oh, okay. But in the nutrition aspect, why specifically that triggered them to really? Because yes, of course, everything has to do with what you eat and all. But for the nutritionist to be able to see that there was something off about your thyroid, that's quite unique.
Uh, yes, I do. I see your perspective, but at the same time, I think, like you mentioned, and when it comes to eating the gut and the hormones as well, it changes the structure of the body. Not the structure, the mechanism.
Yeah, mechanism.
And from his knowledge, he said, I believe it would be best to go to an expert, a specialist in that area.
Oh, the
And when we even afterwards, when he gave the advice, we asked the doctor as well before we took the guidance of the nutritionist, and he advised the same.
Okay, so but you did you always taste did you always take your blood test with your TSH level and your T3 and T4 or what did you were you born with hypothyroidism? Did you not know?
No, I didn't have issues with the thyroid or hyperthyroid. I
Okay.
think one of the issues that caused hyperthyroidism and thyroid cancer was the intake of processed sugar.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
So, without me understanding, for 2 years, I was taking too much processed sugar. That I called it protein bars for my workouts,
Yes.
or sometimes I don't have a sweet tooth, but sometimes I was eating too much. When I eat sugar, I eat too much.
Okay.
And I think, and that was the beginning of that caused the issue with the thyroid as well. Because I was the last checkup when I did when I was diagnosed, I was close to being diabetes.
Well, be blessed that everything happened for a reason, okay? And this is when I think when we face situation like that, I think it changes completely the perspective that we have about life. We don't take things for granted anymore. We feel that, you know what, even though thyroid cancer is a very, I mean, any type of cancer is a really bad cancer. But I think that the only way to suffocate cancer from spreading is to completely eliminate any processed food because it thrives. I mean, if you have either acidic or alkaline body, and the cancer will thrive when you nourish it with any type of processed food. But if you suffocate the cancer by not eating any of that crap and only organic, the cancer will not spread and it will reduce in size. So whatever the surgeon can or the oncologist can actually deal with, they could remove it and you'll be cancer free. But a lot of people have to understand, and you know what? I think Omiros, maybe you may agree or not, our society, unfortunately, is especially the fast food industry and so on and so forth. They want to keep us sick. So if they keep us sick, then that gives more money for the big pharma that actually subsidize those big, I would say, fast food companies or whatever it is. And then it's become a vicious cycle. They keep us sick, so the big pharma make more money. So the big pharma continue paying those companies to feed us with crappy food. So then it never ends. And this is why we become dependent on them. And if we detach ourselves completely from this codependency, I think those big pharma will eventually disappear because they will not need to be able to heal anyone who's already healthy.
I don't disagree with your perspective. I agree with you. But when it comes to the pharmaceutical or that industry, especially because it's one of the top industries that provides economic growth to each country.
Mhm.
Uh, and I'm not gonna be a conspiracy theorist right now, but
No, that's not
but
too long.
there's the reasons why uh, processed food still exists as well. So, and I do agree that processed food is not good for anyone, and that's one of the. I wasn't a big fan of processed food, and now, especially with the thyroid cancer, that was the first thing I cut down sugar. I
Mhm.
started eating more organic, and when it came to my workouts or for source of protein, only natural chicken, eggs, steak, and natural food, organic food. So it was a big difference for me as well
Okay.
for a new journey in my life.
Well, then you know what? It seems like it has in some cases people have to face such a traumatic experience for them to be able to completely change the way they I mean their new habits. And I think sometimes things like I said happen for a reason. And now you feel yourself healthier, you feel yourself that you could conquer the world. And I think this is what in terms of like any type of illnesses, we have to learn to be more proactive than reactive. And this is unfortunately how the society is, Omiros, is that they only react when something bad happens. It's like people who do prayers to God only when something bad happens. But you have to really kind of try to be proactive and always be more into, you know what? If I stop eating this, yes, in the beginning it's gonna be tough not eating sugar. I agree because I have a sweet tooth. But the reality is that, you know what? It is we need to really think about ourselves. No one is going to take control of our lives, and no one is going to tell us exactly how we should eat, what we should eat. and how should we exercise, how much sleep we should have. So I think it's all under our responsibility.
You perfectly said. It is our responsibility when it comes to changing our habits, being proactive, what we eat, or um, implementing more healthy lifestyle in our lives. And we should be proactive when it comes to any issue in our lives.
Mhm.
And like you mentioned, not going to God only for our issues, but being grateful, even if it happens, that we learn the lessons and to move on, to keep moving forward.
Absolutely. If you could tell our listeners before we conclude the podcast, where can they find you in terms of getting your services or seeking for your services?
You can check my website at www.omiroscoaching.com.
Okay.
Social media at Omiros Coaching, and there's the link to my website as well.
Hmm.
LinkedIn is Omiros Coaching as well.
Okay.
So those are my and Facebook as well, Omiros Coaching. So
Well, that's not very hard to remember. It's all Omiro's coaching.
yes, that's
Excellent.
true.
That
That's
was a
true.
good strategy. Like this, they know that they could use only one social handle. It's going to be the same for all of them, right?
Yeah, yes, that's exact.
Excellent. Well, Omiros, that is all the time that we have for today's podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. And thank you again for participating and inspiring our many listeners with your incredible story. Now, we hope that you've all enjoyed today's episode. And I'm also very excited about the many upcoming guests that we have scheduled for season 20 of the Happiness Journey podcast, filled with inspirational stories just like the one that you listened today. Now, here are some concluding words of wisdom. Guiding others to discover their life goals is an empowering journey. Emphasize the uniqueness of each individual's path, fostering growth and fulfillment. Stress the importance of introspection and envisioning a future aligned with passions and value. Explore long term success through resilience, perseverance, and adaptability. Inspire a mindset that sees challenges as opportunities for growth. Encourage clear, actionable plans for consistency and determination. Remind them that success is a journey with every small victory as a stepping stone. Ultimately, instill belief and unwavering support to contribute to their dreams and create a legacy of enduring success. My name is Dr. Dan Amzalag, and you may all keep pursuing your amazing journey in life.